I'd like to take this moment to talk to you about this project in general. The project title is Cross-Canada Agronomic and Environmental Benefit of Advance for Our Nitrogen Management of Corn. It's a Canadian network of researchers, and the funding is from the Canadian Agriculture Agri-Science Program, the CAP program for short, through the Corn Science Cluster of the Canadian Field Crop Research Alliance. Now the project is field-based, so we have field trials like what you're seeing here today. And the very first season was in 2018, so it makes this the third season of this project. It's focusing on corn, of course, and it's grain corn that we're talking about here. The project will continue into next year. The aims of the project now are to increase nitrogen use efficiency of grain corn, and that's to meet national objectives of reducing greenhouse gases and other nitrogen losses to the environment. And also, it's just as important as outreach to farmers and industry and even to the public, which is exactly what we're doing here today and what you're doing in participating with this self-guided field tour. I mentioned it was a network of researchers. Those researchers are in Manitoba, Ontario, and Quebec, and they are span universities and Agriculture and Agri-Food Canada. Universities include University of Manitoba, the University of Guelph with Dave Hooker, and McGill University with Joanne Whalen, and then with Ag Canada, it's Craig Drury and his team at Harrow in Ontario, Curtis Cavers at Portage la Prairie with Ag Canada, and then Gaetan Padon in Quebec City with Ag Canada as well. Now, the site that you're at now is managed by my group, the 4R Industrial Research Chair Program. Exact same similar treatments are being conducted by David Hooker at Guelph and Joanne Whalen at McGill University. So those sites are at Ridgetown, Ontario, and around Montreal, and in Montreal. Now, what we're specifically asking with this research site here, and its sister sites in Ontario and Quebec, are: does Advance for Our Nitrogen Management change the most economical rate of nitrogen fertilizer and improve grower return on investment? And also, does 4R nitrogen management reduce end losses to the environment? So we're actually looking at both the agronomic benefits of 4Rs to producers, profitability, and also environmental in terms of reduction of nitrogen losses. Now, those nitrogen losses, as you're going to learn about today, involve nitrous oxide emissions, which is with these white collars here that you'll see how for measuring nitrous oxide, and those blue recycle bins for monitoring ammonia loss. And also we do soil sampling throughout the season and after harvest to look at residual nitrate in soil that may be prone to loss over the fall, the winter, spring, and so forth. Okay. Also, Craig Drury in Ontario is examining the benefit of single versus double slot side dressing of UAN in combination with shallow and deep side dressing, and superimposing that about inhibitors in terms of nitrification inhibitors with UAN. And Gaetan Padon and Curtis Cavers, also with Ag Canada, are looking at the nitrogen index, which is a algorithm and approach pioneered by Ag Canada and Quebec to be able to sense the greenness of leaves and look at the nitrogen response to in-season fertilizer application. So specifically, they're looking at actually NIR, near-infrared technology, of taking ground up leaf tissue and doing measurements on it. You'll see other measurements here today that we are doing with drones and with handheld sensors. They're also involved with that approach and interest in looking at predicting in-season N rates for farmers to give them a bit of ability to fine-tune their application rates. So I welcome you to the our field day and Station 1, and I hope you have a very enjoyable, knowledgeable, and learning experience with the rest of the stations.